Hey folks, it's Patriot Nurse, and in today's segment we're going to discuss cholera and what it means for you. Cholera, I'm sure you've heard about if you have ever played the computer game Oregon Trail, and if you haven't, well then find somebody under the age of 35 and you'll probably be able to ascertain what that is. Cholera, of course, is a bacteria, and it causes a lot of bad things when it comes in contact with the human GI tract. It is primarily a fecal-oral disease, which means somewhere along the way somebody's poop got eaten or swallowed or ingested by someone. Lovely to think about, right? So some of the ways that you figure out, okay, a person has cholera is they have a high quantity of stools that turn from looking like actually poop to water, to like coconut water, rice water, that type of stools. It's a large volume of stool, and it depletes the person's body of its water and really shoves them into being dehydrated, and their circulatory system goes nuts to try and compensate for it. Long story short, it's a really, really bad thing. And we'd like to try and avoid that if we can, of course, right? So nowadays, the way that we treat it, of course, is primarily with antibiotics and with rehydration therapy, right? So the antibiotic of choice has changed recently. I don't know if you guys remember the cholera outbreak in Haiti a few years back, after that big earthquake they had that killed all those people. The culture and sensitivity, which is a little study of, okay, bacteria, what is going to kill you? The culture and sensitivity came back from the Haitian cholera outbreak, and essentially what they saw was that Cipro, while it did work, it wasn't working as well as they thought it was going to, and that doxycycline and cycline family members, they tended to have the best bactericidal effects. So basically they killed it most effectively. Okay, so the doxycycline and the Cipro were the way to go. Now, the other thing we have to consider here too is that it's not enough just to give somebody an antibiotic, of course, that you have to rehydrate them too. And of course when the antibiotics come into question, Patriot Nurse, where do we get these? Well, I don't know about you, but I have some very prized fish at home, and my fish tend to get cholera like something awful. So my recommended website, of course, is SHTF source, which is the website that I get my fish antibiotics from. And of course I'll put a link in the description box below to where you can get Cipro and doxycycline, of course. And yes, they are the same thing. My fishies can't tell the difference. And oh, by the way, if you want to save $10, then use the discount code Aquarium6. Aquarium like the little fishy tank, and then 6 like the number 6. So that's in the description box below if you want to score some Cipro or some doxycycline. Now, with hydrating a person, this is something that you got to pay attention to. When people lose a lot of fluid from diarrhea, they also lose their electrolytes really fast, okay? Electrolytes are those lethal elements like sodium, magnesium, potassium. Those tend to be really important when it comes to telling the heart, hey heart, you have to pump right, okay? So what happens is when people get their electrolytes jacked up from losing so much fluid out their rear end, losing it to diarrhea from cholera, their heart can tend to have trouble, their entire circulatory system has problems, and also their level of consciousness goes nuts, okay? So it's not a good thing. Electrolyte replacement and fluid replacement is very, very important for someone who is dealing with cholera. Blessedly though, if you've got at least one way to rehydrate somebody, meaning giving them fluids to drink, that's going to help you a lot. The fluid replacement, the electrolyte replacement that I recommend is Vitalite. It tastes the best in my opinion. It also doesn't have the nasty chemicals and preservatives, and I'll put a link, of course, in the description box below. But more than treating cholera, I think preventing it is quite important. And one of the ways that we can prevent cholera and prevent people from getting that, okay, is to make sure that we have a good way to purify our water that does not require electricity. And for me, that's the Berkeys, and I run big Berkeys in my home. I'll put a link, of course, in the description box below. But you need a way to purify your water that does not require electricity. That water, and historically, shared sources of water where people congregate and where hundreds of people drink from, that's where large amounts of people die really quickly because that water gets contaminated, okay? And that is not something I want to deal with. So make sure that you've got a way to purify that water, okay? Really important. I would so much rather take an ounce of prevention to prevent that pound of ache and of cure, right? So that's what I really want to focus with you guys on today. Cholera, it's still very much alive in the world today. It's not like we've wiped it out or something. No, it is still very much there, and it does not take much for it to come back. Just a breakdown in the grid and some issues with maintaining the water treatment facilities, floods, hurricanes, and of course earthquakes like what we saw in Haiti. Those are some of the things that can quite easily put it back on the map for people. So make sure that you're prepared for that, okay? And we actually talk about this in depth in class, guys. This is just one of the subjects that we cover in medical prep. And if you've been on the fence line, like, I don't know, like, should I go? Definitely check out the reviews. There's a whole bunch of reviews on YouTube. But the places I'm going to be this year, I'm going to Exeter, New Hampshire in, I think, 2 weeks. So it's at the end of August, I think the 20th and 21st of August. If you're in the New England area, this is your chance to go. If you're like, are you ever coming to Massachusetts? Are you ever coming to Jersey? No. Gun laws that are crazy and taxes that are oppressive equal no Patriot nurse. I will be in New Hampshire, okay? And it's an hour drive. Exeter is about an hour drive from Boston, so you can make it, I promise. I got actually most of the classes driving from out of state to be there. Got some folks from Maine coming, but the vast majority are driving from Massachusetts to be there. Phoenix, Arizona is also coming up, also Knoxville, Tennessee, Houston, Texas, Jacksonville, Florida, and of course Valor Ridge. I'm going to be teaching another class at Valor Ridge in December, okay? So definitely, if you haven't made it out to medical prep, put that on your schedule, guys. It's time. I do not know what the elections are going to herald. I do not have confidence that electing any single person is going to wipe away all of the division and nastiness and generations of entitlement in this country. And let's put it this way, we are ripe for civil unrest. We've already seen it. And I think that we're also ripe for a pandemic. We are way, way overdue for that, as well as a whole smattering of other things. So being prepared is the way to be right now. And with the markets as uncertain as they are, I would submit to you, I'm not a financial advisor by any means, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn like 60 times this past year. I would submit to you that probably the best place to put your money is investing in yourself and investing in your skill sets. Think about it this way. For the cost of tuition for the class, if it saves you one trip to the ER, it's paid for itself. Well, many times over. I hope it was helpful for you guys today. If you did enjoy the video, please subscribe to me, Patriot Nurse, and also like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter. Come out to class, guys. I'd love to see you there. For now, it's Patriot Nurse signing off, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.